All right. Oh, I'm on. Okay. I'm going to call to order the Parks and Recreation meeting of March 20th, 2025. We will be taking a roll call first. Nancy?
Yes, sir. Here.
Pam?
Here.
Diane?
Yes.
And Mark, all present. We do have a quorum. You guys had some questions about some of the bylaws, and Rosa has printed off a sheet which pretty much has a lot of the basic bylaws on it. And this is all accessible on the city website. So I know you guys were wondering about that last time, but here it is. Are you going to be doing this every time?
Yes.
This is great. Okay.
Oh.
Also present in our meeting are Rosa Van Gordon, who is our new city recorder. And we have Chris Stevenson from the Public Works Department. And Zach Moody is here from the city. We'll be giving a parks update. And we have a couple of citizen informations. And in touching with that, I just want to remind everybody that when we have a presentation or public comments, that's their opportunity to talk. There's no questions. It's not a back and forth. They just have their 3 minutes to do their talking about whatever they're talking about. And we are going to give Sandy a little extra time tonight because she said she can't squeeze it into 3. But generally, that's what the public comments is. Yeah, and she's bribing us, exactly. All right, so we're going to move on to approval of minutes. Did everybody look them over and is everything okay? I did look them over. I think they're fine.
I'll move to approve the minutes from February 20th, 2025.
And I will second that. Before we go any farther,
Minutes.
are you taking the minutes or is...
Yeah, great question. So according to our bylaws, this might be something we want to add to next month's agenda. It does note in there that the secretary is to take minutes and forward to the city recorder.
Right.
So if we want that to change, ultimately, I am in the habit of just doing the minutes. So I think what would be most appropriate is we add it to the next month's agenda. I do it for this meeting and then we change the bylaws to say that city recorder takes.
So we'll shift the
minutes.
responsibility. So who's
Correct.
doing it tonight?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Said they were approved. Okay.
We had, she set the motion and I seconded it. But then I thought, well, wait a minute, who's taking?
And then
Yeah.
everything's recorded. So also I go back and just make sure
Okay.
that it's all accurate. So in case you're
Yeah, because
wondering who started
you were elected
motions.
secretary last
Yeah.
meeting. Okay. All right. So all those in favor of approving the minutes? Aye. Oh, we just took a vote. So I'm just waiting for you guys to give an aye if you're okay on approving the minutes. You said aye?
Look, yeah, we
Okay.
haven't had advance notice of this, so we didn't receive it.
So I know that,
And I apologize, that's actually on me. I didn't have your email addresses and now I do. So in the future, I will be sending out the agenda 1 week prior to every Parks and Recreation Committee meeting. So I take the blame for that of not having the agenda.
well, no, because I saw Zach gave you those addresses.
I do
days.
have it now. I only sent it to you and to Nancy because that's when I had the.
Oh, I
the
thought I
email
saw the link
addresses.
where you gave them to her a few days back.
I do have the email addresses now,
Now,
but I did not
okay.
when I sent out the agenda packet.
Okay.
So that's why they are looking it over.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that tonight. That's in the member comments. So that's what
And it's from a couple meetings ago.
yeah.
There was
Okay.
not a motion, but what do we
It was a public
There
comment.
was an agenda item on it.
Minutes, and it says that you shared it that a new plaque is being ordered. Did you do that in the last meeting?
I think that is worded, it hasn't been ordered yet. It was looked into, so we know what we need to do to get it.
Uh-huh,
And that's actually on the agenda tonight.
okay, but she's still alive. I didn't.
No,
I.
we had a family member come.
I
yeah.
didn't hear that being announced as,
Okay, so the wording of that
yeah. that's
is
fine.
incorrect.
Uh,
So what should we? Yeah, so, and remember comments? I share that a new plaque is being ordered for Polly Hensley's bench. And that's not the case. It would being looked into to find out, what it would be, what it would take to get it, how much they cost, that kind of thing.
It's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works and it's actually on the agenda tonight.
Yes.
Do you approve the minutes?
Still looking at the Easter egg thing, because I think I made more comments under that. That is not reflected on the number of plastic eggs and plastic other things that were being done. And the lack of funding for Earth Day for the cleanup care.
So one thing to note about the minutes going forward for all meetings is that the minutes is a summary of what was discussed at each meeting. It's not going to be a transcription. And the difference of that is just a transcription would be the uhs, the ums, the everything that's mentioned in the meeting, and the minutes is more of a summary. But what we're going to be moving forward is having a video and audio recording posted to our website that is the transcription of everything that's notated. A lot of other cities neighboring to us do minutes that way as well. So you won't see every single thing discussed in minutes just going forward. Additionally, in the minutes, you will see that there will be a video and audio timestamp so that when folks are looking at the minutes and they want to go to the video or audio recording to listen to agenda items, they can zoom forward in the video to that exact minute to listen to that section. So it's really accessible for folks to access going forward.
Okay. So are you,
Approving some.
well, then you can say nay on the minutes if you want. You're gonna go in?
Yeah.
Okay, so the motion is approved for the minutes, to approve the minutes. So now we're gonna go into public comments. And we're gonna let Carolina jump in. Okay,
Busy woman.
Hello, my name is Carolina Marshall. I am live at 142 West Bowles Road. I'm here representing the community kitchen, and you're still the president? I've had no recording or seen minutes, so I just want to collect myself. You're
yeah,
still
I
the
think it's
president,
the
Mark?
president. I think it's the chair.
Chair, sorry,
Yes.
chair, you're vice chair?
Yeah, I think you're vice chair.
I am, but.
And then
I don't know
Pam, you're secretary? I'm just getting myself oriented, my little pineal gland going, what's going on in the
Yeah.
world of Parks and Rec? Okay, wonderful. And we have Rosa.
And for the record, Carolina, I'm going to do a time start just for the clock purposes of 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you go
Perfect.
for it.
All right, I'm gonna
I do
start it
stuff
now.
in 3 minutes. Don't you
Okay.
worry about it. I'm
Perfect.
super good. Okay, I'm here to, I'd like to stay for the whole meeting, but I just can't. I have to leave. So I'm just doing this in public comments, but the community kitchen is putting their commitment for dog days. We would like to work with you as we have with all the iterations of Parks and Rec. We are committed to that. And I talked to Melissa Snyder, and she will slice watermelon for the dog days event. We will provide pans to put it in that are nice and sturdy. And we look forward to that summertime event with Parks and Rec. We love it, and we love the dogs, and we love Parks and Rec Committee in all of its iterations, liaisons from the council, et cetera, et cetera. Have a wonderful night, and good luck to you all with your plans and Easter eggs and all of those things. And thank you for your service to this community, all of you. You too, Zach. Thanks.
Thank you, Carolina. That was great.
That was super.
Short.
That's, I'm gonna say short and sweet.
All right, Sandy, your turn.
Well, we need to consult my presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope I'm not, I think I do. I'm gonna try and race through it. And I can do that because you can't ask me questions, okay?
Yeah.
But you can later, you know.
Oh, open your gift at any time. Sandy Wine, 109 Abbey Street, Phoenix, Oregon, 97535. And basically, I'm representing B City USA Phoenix, but also our many partners in our Earth Day celebration, two of which are actually here. Well, three, what would I do without
Thanks,
Public
Sandy.
Works? I would crash and burn. But let me get going. Look at your slides. Do you have one? Oh, darn it. Have what?
I don't know if she had.
I had 7. Should have been 7. All right, getting started here. Page 1. Happy spring equinox, guys. It is today. And I'm glad that the earth is celebrating that as well. Now, page 1. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about Earth Day 2025 at the Blue Heron Park, hosted by B City USA Phoenix. Our partners are the Bear Creek Stewards and Rogue Valley Council of Governments. Our sponsors are the City of Phoenix and the Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. Biannually, the stewards hold a Bear Creek Greenway event, and one of the 16 locations is Blue Heron Park. This year, we have volunteers from Save the Phoenix Wetlands, Bear Creek Valley Rotary Club, which I am a member, and Road Credit Union Foundation, which is one of our donors. Many more volunteers are coming, residents of Phoenix and other organizations. And this is always a very successful cleanup. The park is always pretty good, but after we get done, it really shines. In the afternoon, we celebrate Earth Day. The City of Phoenix waives the park fee for the event. That's $150. Thank you, Chris. And Public Works prepares the large field, and that's adjacent to the bandstand. And they put markers and little things like, I don't know what you call them, Chris. And they also donate for the day the sound system and mic. I also have already asked Byron Bolstad, Fire District 5, to serve traffic control in the afternoon, and he has graciously said yes. Okay, on slide 2. They go faster, don't worry. Slide 2, we won't read. You can read it on your own. It's a brief look at our event and what we're doing, and a list of our participants. We have about 25 nonprofits and businesses, and it's a free of charge event, and they're happy to do a kids activity that is focused on children and adults to practice in their daily lives environmental stewardship. We can do it, guys. And then on the next page, well, you have to flip on the back. I was saving paper. Are our sponsors. Without their donations and the grant from a Road Credit Union, I couldn't put this on. I'm not that rich. So it's going to be a nice event. And I've rented the Jacksonville trolley to bring people from the Foodery parking lots to the park and back. And not just because it'll alleviate traffic congestion, but also because it's fun. So that takes care of that. Okay. Did I say everything? Yeah. Oh, we don't have time for the movie, but that's okay. It's the release of the doves. The local worm farmer in Talent, Strauss, has a flock, and he generously gives a presentation and releases them. The kids love it.
And you don't have to worry about seeing the movie because you're going to be there, right, guys? Of course, everybody. Next slide.
I think you're just a little bit over time for the 3 minutes for
3
public
minutes?
comments. So
All right,
anything else
we'll
you
just
want to summarize or let us know?
We'll race through. I have more than 3 minutes. Mark promised.
No, I told her we give her a couple
Oh,
more minutes.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I didn't note
Yeah.
that. Okay.
But
Apologize.
thanks for the reminder. But no, now we know.
Oh, now, when the next 3 minutes is up, let me know too. Okay. Okay, slide 4. Most of our members and partners are participants of fundraising events. And our best partner, in my opinion, sorry, Pam and Diana, are the Girl Scouts, Troop 10267. And below you see our membership. Annie Drager is an auxiliary member, kind of like as she can squeeze it in. But as you can see, we have a good amount of members, more than the required amount. And we have so many volunteers, I could have gone 10 more pages. A lot of people are helping Bee City because they believe in it, believe in the cause. All right, and now on page 5, I wanted to give you a quick background on Bee City. It was established by the city, Resolution 920, back in 2015. And the mayor at that time, Jeff Bella, endorsed it and signed it and was proud to do so. We are a member affiliate of Xerxes Society and Bee City, USA. And they have over 300 affiliates that are cities and campuses. And this is great because it's a national organization. And I'm proud to be affiliated with something that goes across the entire country. And we have a Facebook page. It's really kind of cute, put there by the Girl Scouts. Yay. And then we have on a website, a garden certification application and contact request. And I've given you that URL too. Stop by anytime that site. Okay, moving on quickly. I'm not going to read the resolution. Do that at your leisure. And I'm not going to read the kind of sad news about the subcommittee, which turns out is not essential or required. What happened was during COVID and during the fire and during whatever, membership decreased. And the city said, well, we just don't have the resources, the financial, the employee, or something else. Anyway, you can read it, to sustain this organization. And I said, that makes sense. That makes sense. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But that's no reason to disband us. And if you can see in Resolution 1001, we can be activated as a committee jointly with the city at any time. They're amenable to that. But so far, we don't need to do that yet. So we'll keep that in the back pocket. We'll keep that in the back pocket. But I do want you to read on page 9 what's in red, because it shows the absolute support of the city of Phoenix and every mayor we've ever had since Jeff Bella. That would be Chris and Baker and Al. And would you like to read it, Mark? The red?
What's that?
Would you like to read what's in red?
No, this is your thing. This is your public comments.
9 minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Pam,
Are we, where we at, Rosa?
We're at 8 minutes, 49 seconds. And
We're
for the
fine.
purpose
Go
of
Okay,
ahead.
so I
public
think we
comments-
have to wrap it up. Thank you, though.
I will read this. It's totally important, honest, guys.
I think we're out of time, Sandy. I really think we are. I appreciate you coming in.
Well, one more thing.
You told me you could keep it to 6.
I said like 10. But one more thing, because this is ultra important. More websites shows the total commitment of the city. They put us as an organization they support And then you have another website, okay, that we have for information on V-City. But the last and most important thing, I think, is what Parks and Rec might like to contribute to V-City and the community garden. Quickly. Are you looking for a place to plant those bulbs this year? Look at what we have. We have the community garden with a beautiful space in front and many volunteers, 23 gardeners who are willing to plant them. Kind of cool, huh? So think about it, you guys. And the last thing is we had a paver program, a wonderful fundraiser sponsored by Henry Sislow at Leave Your Mark. He was willing to do the pavers. And we got about, I don't know, a few pavers at the playground, and it was a great fundraiser, and you might be interested in that project. That's it, guys, except compliments to the Rotary Club of Bear Creek Valley. They are our fiscal sponsor. They're the most wonderful local club. They support Blue Heron a lot. And I know I'm over time. I apologize, but this stuff is so good and it's important to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Okay,
And good luck at Earth Day. Hope you get a great turnout.
I hope you come.
I don't know. I got Easter egg hunt to deal with and then that.
Now
clean up
listen,
that.
Chris
So,
came last year and was our MC. Come on.
well, I'll see. I'm going to try. That's all I can say.
Well, I got Robert Coppin this year.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you. You're so gracious. I spilled over, but that's me. Sorry.
All right. Next order is the city council liaison report, which Julian is not here. So we're going to bypass that.
I'm substituting for Julia, Larry Hickson.
Oh, Larry, you're going to come in for Julian?
Nothing to say, sorry.
Okay. I saw you there, Larry, but I didn't know if you were, so you're subbing in for Julian tonight.
Yes.
Okay. So really what Julian does, or if you already know, if you got something from the council to bring to us, or if there, or vice versa.
Yeah, nothing from the council at this point, so.
Okay.
I'm just here to pass any information on back to the council, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I know a lot of the things that happen here happens out the council. Like I'm sure that Sandy's going to let them know about Earth Day and, but we would definitely encourage you to, let them know about the Easter egg coming up because that's one of our bigger events of the year. And that's on the Saturday before Easter. Anybody that wants to show up and either volunteer or just be there, we would greatly appreciate it. So anybody from the council that would like to do that. And it's from 10 to roughly noon, but we usually close up before that when we run out of eggs and everybody leaves. All right. Well, thank you, Larry. So there's our report. Okay. We're going to move on to old business. Zach, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Zach has a master parks plan update, which we're getting close.
We're getting close.
We're getting
thankfully.
close.
So we do have Aniko from the University of Oregon on, and she's actually going to give most of the update. But
Okay.
part of what I want to say before I forget is that we made a commitment when we applied for this grant to do this master plan to do something good coming out of the master plan. And so for those that maybe not attend the council meeting, the council did pass a resolution for us to apply for a $1 million grant from the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department to do the work that's actually coming up in the master plan. So, so we are going to, I have to apply for that by April 1st. It's been tough to the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department.
You don't have a lot of time.
No, and I don't have a complete master plan yet, but I think that's okay because we actually have a concept plan already done for this from 2017 that we're going to use and augment our request with the upcoming master plan. So that's important. And I wanted to thank everybody that we sent referral requests out for, or support letter requests out for. We received like 6 of them. And we have to choose 5 of them. We actually received more than 6, and I might just put more of them in there, but I don't want to disqualify us either. But we had a lot of really good support from Save the Phoenix Wetlands, from the pollinator folks. I think Sandy had written something as well. So So that's just to name a few. So it dovetailed really well in with all of the presentations that have been done at council. It just made sense to reach out to those groups and ask for them to write the letters of support instead of us giving them just a standard one to sign. So really excited about that. I don't know what the prospects of us getting the grant are. It's very highly competitive, and we're asking for the maximum amount.
And how much was that amount?
It's $1 million.
1 million.
It's the death. What do you found out?
We'll find out sometime this summer. And then, of course, our ask will be what we actually can contract for will be dependent upon how much we have in system development charges to pay for the match. Because a match of 20% on $1 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we're not quite there with the Parks STC fund. So there might be a little bit of fundraising, or we might have to dial it back a little bit to keep it where we can pay with STCs. So with all that to be said, Annika is on the line, and I think she's ready to go ahead and give us an update.
Yeah, can you promote me to a panelist? Because I can't share my screen.
Yeah, hold on one second.
How are we looking on the criteria for that grant? Like, do we meet a lot of the stuff for it?
AI says we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And a lot of the letters that we wrote, that we had written, actually also I gave them the criteria from the grant, so that they could write their support letters, consistent with those requirements, so that
Okay.
we can check off as many boxes.
Yeah.
Annika, does that
works
work?
correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing has changed for me. Still don't have a screen share option.
Oh, because she's not a panelist. There you go.
There we go.
It was.
That's Annika. Yeah. She's from University of Oregon.
Perfect.
Yeah, so Annika, we have a few new park commission members, so I'm gonna
Yes.
take one
Yeah.
second here. So Annika and her team are from the University of Oregon.
And Zach, I can pause you too, because I did include some background in this presentation, so that might go over what you're about.
Hey, there you go. I think I probably asked you for that too. Thank you.
So, nice to meet everybody who's new. Could the people who are new just raise their hands for me so I can see, we got a new person. Yay, wonderful. Very nice to meet you. So, just give me a second here to share my screen and start the presentation. Okay, are we seeing the slides now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm what I'm hoping we can do today is just go over a little bit of refresher for those of you that have been involved for a while, but a nice primer for the new folks. Go over what is the master plan update, and then today we're really going to focus on the community engagement takeaways, and I just want to leave space at the end for any comments that you have about what I'm sharing from the community engagement. So I want to acknowledge that there's a bunch of people working with me here that aren't here today. So I'm the project director for this. We're part of something called the Institute for Policy Research and Engagement, which is housed at the University of Oregon. And we're partnering with the city to help with the parks master plan update. And the way we do our work is by engaging students. So you'll see Day here is our landscape architect student intern, and then Claire and Maya have worked as our sort of community engagement interns, and Ellie is supervising all of the design work. And I'm supervising kind of the engagement and park plan update work. So that's all of who's working on this. And I know several of you have actually gotten to meet these folks before, but I just want to remind everyone there's a team behind this. And then as far as the master plan, just a reminder of why we're doing this right now. So the last time that the plan was updated was in 2016. And we've had some pretty significant changes since then. There's been UGB expansion, there's annexation processes, there's some transportation and management planning processes. We also are benefiting from the grant that Zach was able to get, and we have updated data now. So we really want to take another look at the parks plan and specifically focus on what can we do to encourage what as we're thinking ahead to the new development that will happen in Phoenix, especially in PH3 and PH5. What do we want that to look like? And then we're also diving into the Civic Center natural area that's, right down the I don't know, parking lot from you. So that's kind of the focus of the update this time. In 2016, these were the 7 goals that are listed in the Parks Master Plan. So the first was around providing adequate park system funding. The next one was about increasing capacity for operations and maintenance. The third one was to develop and expand recreational programming options. Number 4 was to incorporate environmental stewardship practices into park design and maintenance. 5 was to foster opportunities for community support and involvement. 6 was to increase inclusion and improve access to parks. And then finally, number 7 was about developing a vibrant park system and acquiring parkland to accommodate for future needs. And this one here, number 7, really got expanded on to say, here are some specific updates for each of the existing parks. So what we're taking for this round is really diving into that one more and giving a more clear picture of what folks want to see for new parks that are built in PH3 and PH5, and very specifically, what is a concept plan for making some updates to the natural area. So this is, again, just what is included in the plan right now, and the kinds of updates that we're going to be making will probably be pretty minimal to many of these chapters. We'll be updating the community profile with new information and adding sort of that post-fire context. Chapter 3 will just be updating the park's inventory and maps a little bit. And then the parks and recreation needs is mainly what I'm going to talk to you about today, based on the feedback that we've been getting to the community. So I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. And then chapters 5, which is the goals. We've talked to the Parks Commission already a little bit about it and gotten some status updates from city staff. So we don't anticipate a ton of changes to that. The specific improvements to the parks will likely change that are listed in the plan as we have inventoried and seen what new things need to happen for each park. And then chapter 7, which is about operations and funding, we will do some budget updates based on the kind of the new suggestions for parks updates. So that's kind of the scope of what we're trying to do here. And then just as a reminder, we are acting as the project contractor. So we're doing the work. We're working with city staff to get guidance on what we're doing. And then you all, the Parks Commission, are kind of acting as our advisory group and supporting us with engagement efforts and providing feedback as we go along with updating the plan. These were the phases that we laid out in the initial scope of work, and we're right now here in this Parks Master Plan update and concept plans phase, and we've done most of the community engagement at this point and are starting to move towards finalizing drafts of things. This is just another version of that timeline. So we did a survey last year from July through December. We did a couple of different engagement events, and now we're in this phase of working on some updates to the actual documents and creating specific concept plans, a specific detailed concept plan for the wetland area and a bit higher level ideas for PH3 and PH5. So I'll just pause there really quickly. Does anybody have any questions about what we're trying to do with the master plan update?
There is a packet that actually has the plans as worked so far, as well as this 2016 comprehensive plan for study for new members. And so I don't know if you have your own copy of what she's talking about. I mean, when she says PH3 and PH5, I'm going, what, where is that, you know? So
Aniko, I can answer the PH3, PH5 question. So
Thanks, Zach.
so the answer to whether or not we have documents dispersed to the commission yet, the answer is no. We're still working through those to create those. We've been doing all of the information gathering. PH3 and PH5 are our urban reserve, our urban expansion areas. So the area from Coleman Creek North to Glenwood Drive on Highway 99, that's PH3. So that's area that the city recently annexed in partially. All the commercial areas are annexed in and the residential areas annexed in March of 2027, if they don't do so voluntarily. There is no park in that area, and there has not ever been a park in that area, even when it was under Jackson County's jurisdiction. PH5 is across the freeway on North Phoenix Road, the old Arrowhead Ranch area. And you'll see now as you drive out there, they're starting to build a water reservoir out there. So it kind of identifies the eastern extent of the city's limits over there. And what we're doing with both of these, and I don't want to steal your thunder, Aniko, so if I do, just stop me. But
I'm not going to talk anymore about those, so go ahead.
okay. So PH3 and PH5, what we're looking at doing, because we wanted to focus more on the concept plan for the natural area and dive into a real tangible project. PH3 and PH5, we're looking at just what are the things that we need in parks in those areas. We don't have specific areas identified. I have in my mind where they could be, but we haven't actually identified them formally. So we're not making a master plan for those areas per se. We're just saying in this area, we need this type of park, and it might have these types of amenities based upon the conversations we've had with the community. And the same thing with PH5. So, and we have to do that as part of our urban growth boundary expansion. We're obligated to update our park master plan and all of our master plans and capital improvement plans to take in areas that are now in the city. This happens to be the first one. The transportation system plan will be the second one. And the capital improvement plan, once we're done with all of these master plans, will be the final one that we do.
Is there a packet that we can receive? I mean, I need a map or something to see the difference between PH3 and PH5. And there's a timeline, right? Am I correct, where they will be annexed into the city on the timeline?
So they're already in the city.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the difference between PH3 and PH5?
Oh, well, PH3,
Really quickly,
PH5.
sorry, Zach, just
Yeah.
really quickly. Could you
Yeah.
turn on your mic when you speak? I'm just not picking up any audio
Oh,
when you
sorry.
speak. No worries.
So PH3 and PH5 are what we called those areas when they were urban reserves. And urban reserves were areas that the state identified through a regional problem solving effort that took, almost 2 decades to finish. Every city that has urban reserves has multiple areas within their outlining area that they identified as future expansion areas. And the ones that we're working with now, they happen to be named PH3 and PH5. We still refer to them somewhat that way. We probably will start not referring to them that way anymore because they're actually part of the city now.
They both are.
They both are, with the exception of some residential areas in the PH5 area along the highway. Those annexations can only happen if they were voluntary, or excuse me, yes, thank you, PH3. Those areas of residential use in PH3 can only be annexed voluntarily or in March of 2027, whichever comes first.
I mean, voluntarily, in that there has to be an election?
No, voluntarily is as a property owner needs to come into us and sign a waiver and they'll annex in. Or if they choose not to do that, they'll be annexed into the city in March of 2027. So we have to start planning for that area now so that we can, one, look at what we're talking about with fees and maintenance and those types of things so that we can further refine the park designs in the future. And then figure out, so there's the good map that's showing. We had identified some general areas. And Annika, I'll let you go ahead, since you have that pulled up. If you want to go ahead and expand on on
I
that.
I just thought the map might be helpful
Okay.
so that everybody knows that
Yes.
this, sorry, they're not labeled here PH3 and PH5, but this A is PH3 and B is PH5.
Yeah. So we had identified that this is the general area where we think a park can go. In PH3 area A there's 75 acres between Medford, Jackson County, and some other ownership down there where we feel like we could make a nice park. Problem is, it's not the city limits.
Wow.
So we would be creating a park in the city of Medford for Phoenix residents. And it's pretty well hidden. So we have a lot of work to do to find out areas in there, but first and foremost, we need to know what it is that we're trying to build there before we look for the land. So that's kind of where we're at there. To your question about where you can find other documents, I can send you some links to the park master plan online. Most of it's on the planning page, but it's a little bit buried sometimes. So I can send you the 2016 park master plan so you can see what she's, you can go back and refer to what she has been speaking about the goals and things like that.
Yeah. Is it possible to receive a package of what we just looked at so I can refer back to it?
Yeah, I can get the slideshow from Aniko and then I
Yeah.
can send that to you as well.
Yeah, I'll
And-
share this afterwards.
And I have another question is, you said that there's a requirement for a 20% match, is that correct?
For
For the
the,
$1 million grant?
not for this project,
No, for the grant
correct.
that you're applying for
Yes.
with the Oregon Parks Department.
Yes.
Is the volunteer contribution from Eric going to be considered part of that contribution?
So in kind
That was
donation,
like
yeah.
$40,000 contribution, as I understood it.
Yeah, so we'll take some in-kind donations and we'll tally those up. That will be one of them. Their board has to review it and see if it meets the
Whose
standard, the Oregon Parks and Recreation
Oh, I see.
Department.
Uh-huh.
They'll determine whether or not that match can be used towards, or that in-kind donation can be used towards the match. But
And my understanding is that there's a fixed time for that to be used. Am I correct? Is that after a certain period of time, when that machinery is removed from the site, that in-kind contribution is not going to be available?
we can come back and talk about that after we're done here. I don't want to hold Aniko on because she is our contractor. So I can come back and talk to you about that in a minute. But I do want her to be able to finish because we got some important stuff to talk about, timelines and things like that too. But
Okay,
when we're done here, I'll come back and talk to you about that.
fine.
Great. So I'll keep us moving, and what I want to focus on today is the engagement and what we've found from all of that, to sort of tell you how we're thinking of incorporating that into the update. So we've done several things so far. We did a couple of online opportunities, and then back in September, we were at the community dinner, we tabled at the Foodery, we tabled at the Ice Cream Social. In October, we did a specific design workshop for the natural area where folks walked around and then did some design work back inside. And then most recently, this was really fun. We went to the high school and met with 4 different, they were government classes, and had the students come up with pitches to us about what they wanted to see in the parks. So I'm really super excited to share some of the things that they came up with today. So I'm going to want to go through a couple of the takeaways from our engagement so far, which is we're really pretty much concluding that. And so these are kind of the results. So one thing on the survey and in the tabling events, we asked people to select from several pictures which kind of parks they liked the most. So this was the top park style here that people selected. You can see it's pretty multi-use, and it features splash play area. So this was the one that people really liked. And then that was closely followed by natural areas. That was very popular. And then finally by playgrounds. So, and this, I'll say too, when we looked at the survey results and divided out the people who have children, playgrounds were really high on the list. But even among those folks, natural areas and this multi-use one were at the top too. So those are the kinds of parks that people are most interested in seeing. And then I want to share a little bit from the high school student work. So I'm going to be sharing images from the presentations, the little pitches that they gave us. So one of the themes from all of their conversation with us is multi-use activities and sports are really important. So this is one park that a team of students designed, and you can see it's got like so many different things here. It's got sports fields, it's got ponds, it has a trampoline, it's got BMX track. So I like this one because it really illustrates that variety, and that I think is what the kids were saying is felt really important to them. Cleanliness and maintenance was another really top theme. So I loved this. This was a really effective presentation that one of the groups gave. And they went through showing a bunch of pictures of gross restrooms and said, would you use this? And of course, the answer is no, this is not a great thing. So it really elevates the importance of having clean, well-maintained facilities. Safety came up a lot. So this was from another team's slides that they shared with us. They really wanted to have lighting. They were thinking about people getting injured, and they were thinking about access to the parks. Safety was a big theme and came up in almost all of the presentations from the high school students of really wanting to have features like lighting that help people feel safe in the parks. Green space, shade, and water came up a ton too. So this is another example of a slide from one of the students' presentations. So they're saying some trees would be really nice for both shade and privacy. And they have some examples here, and they say Bear Creek Park is a great example of this. So when we kind of looked at both what the high school students said, what we heard from the workshops, and what we heard on the survey, what we really saw is that there's a really clear alignment between what people said their priorities were in 2016 and what people are basically echoing again now. So those themes are really around facilities maintenance and safety. This relates to people really wanting water features and natural areas. This continued desire that parks are well maintained, especially focusing on the restrooms, which came up a lot from talking to people. And another theme is certainly that people express concerns about safety in parks, and a solution that's often cited for that is better lighting. In the category of access and use, there's this idea that parks are too concentrated and not like well serving all parts of town. And so that is really nicely addressed by the focus that we have in this particular update on those two new PH3 and PH5 areas of saying we really need parks here as that area develops more. Accessibility and parking remained themes that came up for everybody. More shade, more water. That's kind of something everybody said as a priority for them. And then also, I wanted to mention this desire for more programming and say that especially amongst the teens, they're interested in sports and interested in really having active space where they can do activities in parks. The second to last category is about connections to nature. So having green space, natural areas is really important. And then sort of related to that is doing environmental education and interpretation with signage and designing parks with sustainability in mind. And then finally, this idea of inclusivity, what we found both on the 2016 survey and on this survey is that people think teens are the most underserved group. In the 2016 survey, seniors were mentioned a lot more. This time round, that was less elevated, but teens was the top group for everybody, saying that it was underserved. And then, of course, we have some really great suggestions directly from teens about things they would like to see, including skate parks, basketball, volleyball, baseball, soccer. Those were the top activities highlighted from that group of people, as well as this idea of protected spaces just to hang out that are somewhat private, since they're not at that age necessarily playing on the play structures anymore, but they might just want a place to hang out with friends. So with all of that in mind, what that kind of leads us to is that I don't think there are huge updates that we need to make to that section of the Parks Master Plan, because we're really kind of hearing echoes of what we heard in 2016. And we have some really nice details from folks about what style of parks they want and what features they want to see in it that will allow us to give some robust suggestions for the new parks that will be built eventually. And just kind of looking forward in our process at the April Parks Commission meeting, we're hoping to bring the actual concept plan for the natural area so that you all can look at that and you can see that drilled in level of detail that Ellie and Day have been working on to build out the concepts. So that's kind of where we're at. And I just wanted to open it up at the end for any thoughts or comments or notes that I should take as I'm moving forward to start updating the text of the plan.
Monica, could you just remind me, since I don't have my notes in front of me, can you, do you have the dates in front of you for our projections for, you just mentioned Park Commission bringing this back, but we have some dates in mind for the Planning Commission and for the City Council as well.
Yes, I will pull those up. That'll just take me a second, but if there's any other questions, I could take those now too.
We talked about the emphasis on the natural area. We're talking about this natural area down here below the Civic Center, right?
One of them, yes. But I think the emphasis on natural areas incorporated into other parks too. But for our concept planning this time, yeah, the emphasis is really from the edge of this parking lot down past the Foodery down by Moxie.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe even taking, that as a model in the future, depending on ownership of the property that's to the south of First Street, which is more of the same, except less accessible, and advancing on that as well, to improve that. But that's something that we have to see how this goes first. And then, once it's in public ownership, if it does get in public ownership, then we can make it into a park area.
And there's a note about education. Just want to let you know that our library is also focusing on education in nature as well. And so they're developing programs to do something similar. So instead of duplicating, maybe it's some way to coordinate that.
Right.
Would be great.
Yeah.
And the schools have soccer fields, basketball, football. They don't have a skate park.
Right.
And they don't have any tennis courts.
And they don't have basketball. I mean, everything's inside and unlocked. So
They have-
there is a.
They have tennis courts.
With kids.
The tennis courts are not public either.
No, they're not.
Mhm.
Yeah, they just
No.
built some though.
No, what I will say about that though, and this comes from a very biased opinion of my own, because I coach soccer and I'm in that world of people that are playing outdoor sports, is that there's not enough. We have 12 teams that play on the Culver Fields every Tuesday and Thursday, and we share that space. And then when game time comes, there is no practice field anywhere because games are happening all the time, unless you're practicing during the week, which some of us do. So there is importance to have that open space, because when those fields are utilized for organized events, they're not available for the public. So the kids that want to come out and just play soccer, they would have to go find someplace else. And we do see, I mean, if you drive through US Cellular Fields or what is it now, Lithia Driveway Fields, those fields are always full too. Those are reservable. They cost a lot of money. So, your club sports are the ones that get those. So it's not like we can go there. And it's a little bit out of the way for the low income or low to moderate income families that have to travel to these things. So, soccer, with soccer and basketball, we've found with the basketball court that was converted to pickleball court too,
Share.
that you have shared uses, right? So, you could have the Frisbee golf course on the outside of the soccer field, and have a multi-use type situation. So not that any of that's going to happen with the planning that we're doing now, but I think that there will be definitely an emphasis in PH3 and certainly in PH5, because it is a vast open area that has a very large required open space requirement. So
And is totally, that side of town is totally unserved by any
Correct.
folks right now.
yeah, so that'll be a lot of open space and a lot of active recreation space that can be used for multiple uses.
And Diana, at least I have had multiple requests for another basketball court,
Yeah.
Blue Heron, and we've looked into it as a parks group, but it is expensive. And so when you're looking at those kinds, again, basketball is locked up inside the school. It's not available and the one at Culver, when I drive by there a couple times every week, there's a little group, they're out there and
Always.
using it.
Always.
Yeah, and I've used it with grandkids too. And again, the soccer, there are so many kids that are wanting to play, and it is way underserved as to where you can get a field.
And isn't that the one on Culver Park, the big field there, is that suitable for soccer? The middle of it?
It needs some improvements. If you want to break your ankles out there, you can go play.
We have a problem with
There's a gopher problem out there now,
Yeah.
but I guess to add to Nancy's, point, one, it takes partnerships with other organizations. So for example, the group I work with, Southern Oregon Soccer Academy, they could be a good partner with helping to provide financial resources to, be able to ensure that they have fields for, their folks, and then, not when they're in use. Same thing with the Little League. The Phoenix Talent Little League is in the midst of losing their fields in in Talent, and in the process of building some fields out at Culver Field, but they don't get to build as many. So we have an opportunity, which we haven't really talked about, but we have an opportunity of taking the open space where all the Gophers are at, and there's already a baseball field out there, but making that some multi-use field as well, where you have a baseball field, but it can also act as a soccer field when it's not being used. Yeah, so there's all kinds of ways to look at that, but we'll really drill down to that level of detail. So you're going to get a master plan with a bunch of nice looking examples of things. You're going to get a master plan that has basically a summary of what it is that we need to do and some goals. But we're going to dive down deeper, and we're going to take those goals, and then the planning commission, their responsibility and yours, you'll have a chance to review this as well. But we need to adopt a new comprehensive plan for our park comprehensive plan, or park element for our comprehensive plan. And so part of that, what we will do is we will take the goals from the master plan, and we'll figure out, okay, now how are we going to do it? So here's the goal, here's the policy, here's the goal, and then here are the implementation steps under there that we need to do. And so that becomes the structure for the planning part, especially in PH5, because that's not developed. And so as that develops, the developer is on the hook for building the parks. So we can get this all aligned, and then we can say, okay, this is the park that we need in this area. They may not have to build the whole thing, but they're going to build a majority of it. And there's reasons why they do it too, right? They want to have the park and open space there. And they also get park system development charge credits as well when they do that. So if they build a $3 million park and they're building, 100 houses out there, they're going to get credit for the park system. Correct. Yeah.
And what's the density on that? You're thinking 300 houses?
No, it's not focused on housing. It's all industrial. but it has a housing and a commercial component to it. Which will be at least 7.7 units per acre. Of the housing area, but that hasn't even been defined yet. It's just a big blob of residential and commercial and industrial right now, so.
I was just kind of wondering about population age wise. Are they young families? Are they retired people? What's the goal out there? I've seen several plans in the planning department on the Arrowhead, and they're very different from each other.
Yeah, I think it'll end up being a mix of everything. I mean, it's not going to be exclusive to, to one particular age group, but the facilities being built out there on the industrial level are campus style, like university facilities or microchip manufacturing or engineering facilities. These are very, very large businesses that will consume a very large portion of that area purposefully. And then the residential areas and the commercial areas will be there to serve that community and others that come in, right? It's not just exclusive to them. But there's a huge focus on the park system there, the walking trail system. We're designing a new road standard that will have a multi-purpose path on one side of it instead of having sidewalks on both sides, so that the open space, the trails are in the open area, so people will use them more frequently. So there's a lot of thought going into that, but that's where the comprehensive planning at the planning commission level and your level for the implementation steps comes in.
How does that dovetail if you have to have $1 million grant proposal written by April 1st?
Let's finish up with Anico because she's waiting for us, and this is stuff that we can talk about when she's done.
Yeah. Annika, did you get everything or are there any other questions for Annika about the park master plan itself?
Yeah, it's up to you all if there's anything else you want me to know. And I'll just say really quickly, I did pull up the dates we talked about. So looking forward, and sorry, I don't have a slide with this written down, but we talked about the April Parks Commission meeting is when Ellie and Day are going to come with the designs for you to look at. The May Parks Commission meeting will be for a full review of everything. Planning Commission meeting would be at the end of May, and then we're hoping to go to council in June. And then Zach, the grant you're writing right now is really just for the natural area, right? Not the PH3 and PH5 are much longer term
Correct.
on the road things.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, so and this is just this is the master plan component of it. So this won't be when we go to city council and planning commission, we won't have talked about the comprehensive plan amendment yet. Those will come after the council adopts the master plan. So we're assured that we're actually developing policies and goals that are in line with what's been adopted in the plan. So the university will be working on that with us, and we will have a draft ready to go after that's adopted to start working from. That's part of their scope of work. And so, but we'll do all of the refinements after the master plan's been adopted. Thank you, Annika. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. And I have to say, you all have wonderful high school students. It was so much fun to work with them and hear their ideas. And they had some really cool presentations that we'll be including sort of clips of in the plan and can make accessible to you if you want to look at them in more detail.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
So just really quick, and then I have nothing else on the park master plan. I did want to get back to your question about the grants, but there was a lot talked about there. So, as far as the in-kind donations go, this issue came up at the city council with Save the Phoenix Wetlands Group wanting to advance the project before the park master plan was done. And while I would like to see work done sooner rather than later as well, I have to toe the line on the public engagement part of it, right? So the public's been involved, we've been hearing what they're saying, and we want to develop this plan based on the entire community's desire for the park system. We're probably all in line with designing that area, but it would be disingenuous for us to go out and start doing work in an area that doesn't have a master plan adopted yet assuming that that's going to be the overall take from the council and the direction from the council, really. I don't see that that's going to be the issue. And I don't see where remobilizing their equipment is going to be such a cost to them. I mean, we're really talking about a mini excavator and another small piece of equipment that they can bring back out in 10 minutes. This is not a major construction site where it's going to cost thousands of dollars for them to remobilize. So we hope that they'll maintain and still be a partner with this, because this does benefit the foodery and their commercial development there. But it also gives us time to go out and find more private financial assistance as well, when we have a nice plan that we can go and show off. And I think my hesitation for going out and doing that work right now is that I don't have the answer as to whether or not I could use that in-kind match after the fact. I can't go back and say, well, this $50,000 was that, they invested this. We're going to use that as match. They want them to partner with us through the project. So I feel like I've done enough of these that most of them don't let you go back and claim match that was done before. So this is a great selling point for us too, for the grant, to say that we have somebody that's interested and willing to, spend $50,000 of their $40,000 of their own money to enhance this area. And we'll probably, I think I have one letter of support from Tailored Elements anyway. So that's kind of where we're at there. I'd like to see this thing constructed, under construction tomorrow as well. I'm sure Chris would as well too, because we can get rid of all the native garbage or non-native garbage out there and put the native stuff back in. But I will say on that note that ODF&W did do some planting down there. We did allow them to plant big leaf maples in the wetland areas that we knew we weren't going to have real good access to for people. And the city, working with an arborist, a local arborist, applied for a DLCD grant. I think you guys some of you might have been there.
Oxidine.
Mike Oxendine, yeah. And he announced, it wasn't the last council meeting, I think it was council meeting before that we were awarded the grant to line Bear Creek Drive from Blue Heron Park to 4th Street with trees separated 30 feet apart, all the way down 2,100 feet of road. The good news is it sounds like we might not have to wait till fall to do that. It sounds like the funding's there, and we're trying to coordinate with him in the next week or two to figure out how we can close the lane of highway while he can come in and do that work. And we'll have some instant vertical foliage there. So
That'd be cool.
yeah.
So probably, so the plan should be done and approved at the council by June.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we might have budget's going to push us around a little bit. We were trying to navigate through that process. This will take some time at council, and council will have a lot on their plate with the budget. So we might be a little bit past June. But our goal was to get, we really have to be done with this. Absolutely have to be done with it. Everything, including the comprehensive plan, by December. That's when the grant terminates.
Do we get a party at the end?
What's that?
Do we get a party at the end?
A party? Sure.
You've been working hard.
We'll all come over to your.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but it's
Yeah.
been there's a lot of people involved. I mean, I'm sitting here telling you about it, but I will say, I've worked with the university a number of times on park master plans, and not only is it great for us because it's inexpensive, all of the work that they're doing is roughly about $60,000, $40,000 of which was grant money. And they have a great team of students up there that I wish when I was going to school there, I had that opportunity as well, because putting the actual real work into a project and seeing the results of it is much more educational than sitting behind a computer screen or
It's a
reading a
real
book.
world application.
Yeah. And so, and they take it seriously. And Anaco's been doing this for a long time. I think Anaco actually worked on the first one I worked on in Talent in 2011. So she's been at this for a while. So it's with the guidance of her and your input and the community's input too, with all of the surveys that we had returned. But I have to say, I mean, applaud you guys for the work that you did on the public engagement because we had nearly 400. We just did a public engagement opportunity for transportation on the Greenway and commercial, components with transportation and Greenway connected. So basically transportation stuff, and they had maybe a handful returned because it's not as exciting.
Well, or maybe it wasn't publicized.
Yeah, it's been our experience that, people don't fill out surveys that are transportation related as much as they would parks because they don't really impact you as much as the park systems do. Streets do when you have potholes and things like that. But in our small town, we don't have a fair amount of traffic problems.
I think Greenway traffic is a big issue.
Yeah,
Just. Honestly.
yeah,
Too many fast, not enough visibility.
I know, I'm looking at that.
yeah. And we will bring that back to you as well, because that's another grant that we're working on right now that we're finishing up amendments to our zoning code to help introduce commercial on the Greenway to get more presence. Not commercial buildings on the Greenway, but commercial adjacent to the Greenway so that people can get off the Greenway and come up and use walkable type services such as restaurants or things like that.
100-year floodplain. I mean, aren't there some zoning problems with?
Hey, let's end it right there on that part of it. That's not having to do with the master plan or anything, and we've got to move on. Our meeting is over. So our standard meeting time is 7:30. And that's on there's a sheet that's Rosa gave us that has the basic rules of our meeting. And so I'd like to try to adhere to the 7:30 time. Last time we extended it, and we actually extended it incorrectly. We can actually extend it by the half an hour, but I don't want to do that again.
Oh, because I saw somewhere it said 8 o'clock.
What's that?
I saw on one sheet that it said 8 o'clock. So where that was.
Well, so right here.
That's correct. It got
This is the sheet
extended
that
twice
she gave
to 15-minute intervals.
Yeah, and it's.
So it was
that's
30
long.
minutes.
Oh,
Half an hour.
Correct.
So right there, then you have this sheet.
Okay.
It's 7:30 and we can extend it by a half an hour with approval. And we need full member approval to go past 8:30, which I don't want to do that. And I'd like to not have to go late tonight because we went late last time. So thank you, Zach, for the presentation, and we'll just keep going forward on the master plan. Next item of business is the Easter egg hunt update. Did you guys look at this sign up sheet to see what you might be able to?
I didn't see that.
Okay, so Nancy gave these out last meeting to everybody.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The to-do, it was the to-do
It was
list.
to
that
do
was
list. She
given
gave them out last
last.
meeting.
I'm gonna be working on the cleanup of the Bear Creek Earth Day, so
So you won't be there.
I won't be doing the Easter egg.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because I'll be at 2 other events that are happening.
but
Okay.
I didn't see this.
So she gave them last meeting.
Yeah,
Last
but I
meeting
was
was-
here last meeting.
Yeah.
And everybody got one.
Everybody got one.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
And here.
So we're just looking for
So
people.
we're just.
That's okay. Well, we're just looking for the committee members to what they can help out with. So you won't even be there at all.
I won't be there at all.
Okay. Are you going to be able to be there?
well, right now, currently, I'm assigned to the Bear Creek cleanup. And
Yeah.
that starts at 9, and then the Easter egg hunt starts at 10.
Right.
So I want to see what's going on, so I'm gonna try to, I don't know how parking is, but find a replacement for that period of time, make a mad dash over there.
So Pam, you're a maybe.
Yeah,
Okay. And basically just looking to see what's going on. So Mark. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
No, I
I'm
will
gonna
be
be
there.
there, yeah.
I will be there and not doing anything else because this is this is the committee's job and this is one of the events we put on. So I will be there.
It's, yeah.
And I will
the
be there at
biggest.
9 to start setting up.
Okay, I wanted to clarify 9. I've been in contact with Brizzy Chapman, who is with the high school and brings an amazing group of high schoolers to help. And she wanted to know how many, and what time. So shall I have them be there at 9? I can,
Yeah, because we're going to have
Okay.
them, if we're going to be short members, we're going to have them, do the field setup with and get the eggs out and all of that.
okay,
So yeah, so
And-
as many as,
6 to 10,
as many
Okay.
as she can do.
9
which would be great.
AM.
More hands make light work.
Make light work.
So the setup starts at what time?
9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we start set up at 9. And because if people show up promptly at 10 or people show up before 10, and we try to do the egg hunt promptly
Yeah, I'd like
at
to be there,
10 or
but
a
I've
few
just,
minutes after.
unless I can find a replacement. you
Okay.
know. So,
And this is just to let you see, I did just a couple minor corrections on the Spanish and this is the flyer that I will take or send to the high school district, or not the high school, to the district office. Once they approve it and I get numbers, in the past, there's been like 300 plus 330 at each school. So, and then I'll take them to preschools and bulletin boards and yeah, in the area. And Rosa will print these, but I wanted you to see these before I got them.
so you're distributing them, or do you need help distributing?
No, because, oh, well, when we get this is actually in color and when it gets printed, you could help if you wanted to distribute to, I go to Head Start, I go to a few of the preschools that I know that are operating here and a couple public bulletin boards. So, and if we've got you on for the, is it the electric, the reader board. Do we need to purchase more tape, the caution tape? Okay, see. And the only other thing I'll need to grab
Yeah.
I don't know who has the credit card for, you do,
Rosa does.
Rosette, okay, the paper bag craft. So for a craft table. And
We
that,
have a ton of,
I think we need new stickers. I could just get the stickers. We don't have.
If it's easier to, you're welcome to send me what you're needing, like a list of them, and I can go and purchase them, and that'll actually help me with like my receipt tracking and everything, unless you really enjoy doing that. And then we can set up a time for you to pick up the card. I just want the receipt is all.
Oh, okay.
Have to have the receipt.
That's, yes, okay, whatever's easy. I need to grab the bags, but we got rid of the markers because I think because
they were all dried out.
they were dried out. So we just need,
I think last time we just went to the dollar store.
we did,
Bought,
the dollar store and
bought a bunch of stickers.
Got a bunch. And we
things like
don't
that.
have any, we have enough pencils for the bunny, but we don't have any candy for the, yes, chocolate candy. So
For the what?
for the bunny, if we're going to give the bunny candy.
I don't think the bunny did candy
Okay,
last year.
Just pencils. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, which we have pencils.
And we have pencils.
Yeah.
So I think we're,
Melissa volunteered, and you already have it on here. Melissa volunteered to do the pinwheels
and
and
I should,
assemble them.
yes, and I should come down and get the pinwheels. Is there a better time than others, Chris?
Whenever.
Okay,
What are you doing tomorrow?
I could do that tomorrow.
See you
What time?
tomorrow. We start work at 8.
Okay, I can,
I'll see you at 8:05.
8:05. Okay, see, and I'm writing it down, 8:05. And
Just for the record, all of the Easter stuff that came in is now with the Easter supplies minus the perishable goods, which Nancy has.
Okay.
Scooby-Doo treats.
and I have the little stuffies for it says 6 months and up, and I have those at my house to put into eggs.
Did we get empty eggs that I was gonna stuff with chocolate again?
I'm putting stuffies in there. Would you like some empty eggs for chocolate? Because we don't have chocolate and we don't have empty eggs. We have lots of other. Chris, do you have, did the big boxes of eggs?
Yes. Yeah.
How many did we end up
Those-
getting of the regular
I think there's
candy egg, like
I
3,000?
think there's 3 boxes of them.
Think there should be 3,000 and that works out to less than 15 cents an egg.
Oh, then I don't think we need to do the
I could say, I
chocolate.
didn't think that's what I thought. We had so many of the others. that-
Yeah, if we've got that many of the regulars, we don't need to do chocolate also.
I
Okay.
know, they do have Tootsie Rolls in them.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Oh, and the thing is, I guess, and Jillian may have already had done this, but to invite the council. I don't know. But, okay. And that,
Melissa also volunteered to be the bunny again.
oh, She was wonderful, yes.
Yeah.
She and Michaela will have to.
Well, Michaela actually can't do it. So
Oh.
I saw Melissa the other day and she's like, I'll do the bunny.
Oh, wonderful.
So we will need a bunny
A
helper.
bunniest helper.
I am gonna be available and I will be there at 9 a.m. that day to
Okay.
help out and volunteer. So I will be her. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And I will be her bunny helper.
Okay.
I would love nothing more than to do that.
Have you guys seen the giant bunny costume?
No,
So
and we're
Melissa
waiting
is,
on just.
how tall is Melissa?
is that owned by the city or?
Yes.
Who owns it?
We own it. The Parks and Recreation Committee, I don't know. I'm assuming we own it. Or actually, it's probably Public Works owns it.
No, I
But
think it's
Melissa, well, you saw Melissa. She's 5'8", 5'10".
No, she's probably 5'10".
When did I
She's a little
see
taller than
Melissa?
I am.
Well, she's the board member that she
Is
was
not-
here the last meeting. No, it was your last meeting. I don't know. Anyways, she's very tall, so it looks great. It's a full-size bunny outfit. The one negative is you can't see.
Yeah.
So she needs somebody to guide her around.
See,
And that's what Rosa does. So we have a guide and then we have a backdrop. And people can take their pictures with the bunny in front of it. And she also fixed, remember the flyer we found for the Easter egg hunt that she fixed it because it had the wrong time. So I'm gonna hang that on the fence in front of the school like that Monday.
And Chris has been the bunny too.
And Chris has been the bunny. Yeah, when it was at
Blue Heron.
Blue Heron Park.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a pretty good costume.
Yeah, it is a really good.
It's good
It's
quality.
a nice.
They spent quite a bit of money on it.
Yeah.
It's a nice costume.
Yeah.
So, and Fire District 5 is confirmed, police are confirmed,
Public
Right.
Works is confirmed.
PA. Can we get the signs out like Monday?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at your list, Nancy, and I think we've got everything else on there. School. Key.
Key, yes.
How's that?
You know what? It's not here. I updated my computer thing, but key, yes, I'll put that right there.
Yeah, let's get that handled. I mean, we do have a month and we do have one more meeting before this happens.
Oh,
Yeah, we have a meeting, our next meeting here,
That's what, 2 days before?
2 days before.
Yeah.
So if there's any like mad rush, spur of the moment thing, 17th. So 3 days before, no, 2 days before.
2 days, 17th, okay.
Yeah, so we're a month away. So
One thing-
is there anything,
I'm so sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, continue.
I'm just thinking about a million different things, but I was just gonna say, so can you think of anything else based on your list? Cause you kind of headed this operation that we need to
Well, you
address.
guys have, I just like a list.
Having a list
My-
is nice.
My old brain needs,
Having a list is nice. I understand.
yes.
Is there anything that we're not
Rosa,
done or do you have
yeah.
any questions on or?
The only thing I was going to offer is I think some of the most positive feedback we've received from putting on events is when we do those really nice thank you cards. And in my position, I'm happy to be a card writer. I just would like to have a list of addresses. That's my only request is maybe if we have volunteers who sign up for events, if we can have a list of mailing addresses that can be sent to my email, then I can write handwritten cards and
Okay, that's.
show
What we should try to
appreciation
do
for
is
people volunteering.
have a clipboard with some paper on it so that we can write when people,
Everybody's-
just like, yeah, the people that volunteer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clipboard, that sounds good. I know one year we did, pizza and drinks for the high schoolers, but I think last year and one year we gave them like a $10 gift Dutch Bros card. But Breeze,
I'll buy in pizza. How many kids are gonna show up? I will, seriously.
Well, I was gonna say, but we could bring donuts for them in the morning. We've done that before.
yeah, let's do donuts. And how about apple cider? I mean, that's
Yeah.
Who drinks apple cider with donuts, Nancy?
Carrot juice for crying out loud.
Carrot
Yeah, they need some sugar on top.
Well-
Sugar.
Yeah, we had donuts there last year
Yeah,
I think we did.
for
So let's-
everybody setting up.
So let's
I could
do
pick some up.
donuts
Yeah, I'll grab some donuts in the morning or
and
something.
coffee.
Coffee was not that easy to do.
No, it's not. That's why
I couldn't find those boxes. It was hard to do. We'll figure out something.
We'll figure out something.
I
Yeah.
can drink water, Nancy.
There we go.
So you guys, I mean, you know, the events at the elementary school.
Yeah,
It works out really well.
and how hard is it to park to get in and out of there?
It's not bad.
It's not,
really.
no, they have,
mean,
because
there's-
you
there's-
also have Rose Street and you have the
Right.
district parking lot.
Yeah, and people park on Fourth Street
Might be easier to walk.
on those other,
Yeah.
on the other road and come in from that side by Head Start.
And there's a lot of people that walk.
Yeah, because it's a great location.
Yeah,
We get a
it's like
lot of
right in the
families that
center of
just walk
town.
over.
Yeah, and the top of Second Street, right around.
There's lots of parking.
Yeah.
So it actually turns out to be the best parking for any place we
I'm
can
just
choose.
thinking
For this kind
about
of thing.
getting in and out, maybe, you know.
Oh,
drive
Yeah,
over.
I mean, once 10 to 10, there's a mad rush.
Yeah,
'Cause
because I'm
everybody's trying to show
committed
up.
to Earth Day as well as the cleanup, so that's a long day.
That is a long day.
Yeah.
Well, if you can make it to our event, we'll take it.
Yeah, well, Diana didn't see that either, so we both would like a copy of that. Just the to-do list, just to see what the process is.
I'd also like to see a treasurer's report from this event because there are 3 major events happening on exactly that same day. And I know you guys have traditionally done it and you're excited about it, and I gotta respect that. But when there's 3 events, 2 of them Earth Day and the cleanup of the Bear Creek, it seems to me as a Parks and Rec committee, we should be taking into account what really falls under Parks and Rec and nature, and maybe split the budget 5-5-5 or something. And allow churches or whatever, Rotary or Lions Club or whatever, instead of Parks and Rec taking on the whole Easter egg hunt and doing it to the tune of $1,500 and lots of manpower and time. I mean, I'm not against kids, I am against the plastic in this day and age, especially to the tune of, if you have 300 kids, then you got 3,000 eggs, plastic eggs, plus some more. It seems like we're trying to glutton the little guys, you know? I mean, I think they'd be just as happy, you know, with less. But you talked about building up some kind of supply because you used the supply of the plastic eggs last year. You're storing pinwheels over here, and we got a big expensive bunny plus to someplace else. It seems like this is maybe a major event for Parks and Rec, and I've got a problem with that, especially when it's on the same day as Earth Day.
well, I think it falls under it's recreation and it's an event for the city. And this is traditional time for the hunt. Whereas we have never been invited or involved in the other events.
Not sure.
We've been
There's a-
invited, we've never been involved with Earth Day.
There's
And
a-
wasn't last year your first? Yeah, and wasn't last year the first Earth Day?
No, there was one at Clyde's Corners the year before.
And that was put on by somebody else, right?
Well, they're all independent. I mean, the city doesn't sponsor it, and Clyde's Corners provided space for it.
Okay,
And then it moved to the park last year. And I think an Easter egg hunt is fine. I would like to see it a little bit more environmentally sound and a little less
Mhm.
sugar forward. But I think, and the Bear Creek cleanup does not need money. They're independently funded and they're sound. And I think in terms of the city, we get support for that event. But the Earth Day, I think that might be something the city would like to, it should consider contributing to.
We do. The city does.
No, I mean financially.
We do. I mean, we
In kind.
sponsor it by not charging the fee for it.
Right.
I think for the sake of time and for today's agenda, what I'll want to do, Mark, is put this on as an agenda item for maybe our not April, but May's agenda. So that way we can get through with the Easter event and then lift up all of the concerns for the future Easter events.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's
was
all
gonna
very
say,
valuable
I don't want to
information.
discard what you're saying, but this event is planned and it's
Right.
going forward as it is.
Right.
So if you'd like to see something in the future, we can discuss that.
Yeah, I just didn't want to bring it up. I want to bring it up when we're talking about Easter. So-
Yeah, but we can't do anything about
Right.
it now.
I understand. that.
And the fact that it fell on with Earth Day is last year, they weren't the same. And the year before, they weren't the same. Because Easter changes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So this year they happen to be the same. It's a bad coincidence, but it is.
Yeah.
So the conflict there is there, but it didn't happen last year and it wasn't there the year before. So it's never been a problem. But if you'd like to address a different kind of Easter egg hunt, we can do that. But this one's going forward as it is.
I understand that.
Okay, so yeah, it is 7:30. So we still have a couple of agenda items. So either we can just say, and never mind and move on, or if you guys would like to extend it, I'll leave it up to you.
Well, what are the agenda items?
And I just want to make a note that I made a note to put that on as an agenda item for May's agenda. So we'll come back to that. And if
Okay.
you wanted to be present, that would be great. And that way we can, yeah. During that May meeting, we want to hold space for what we have right now. So we won't make comments furthering the conversation now, but in May, we will continue.
Maybe just briefly, I'd like to hear a little bit more about dog days and when it's scheduled and
Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to address the fact that it's 7:30 and the meeting is officially over, unless somebody wants to make a motion to extend it.
I'd like to make a motion to extend it.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? Or is everybody discussion about it?
We can we be quick?
I know, I would,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the discussion, so
That's-
yes.
That's
So-
my intention.
So let's keep our comments and everything directly at these and let's try to keep it as short as possible.
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
so all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion passed. So let's finish Easter egg hunt. Let me leave it with Nancy.
Okay,
Are we good on
I
everything?
think we're good on everything.
Okay, and if there's any last minute items, we can deal with it on the 17th.
On the 17th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, new business, so, I have on here plaque for Pauline Hensley, so a couple months ago, a family member of hers came to us and informed us that there was a plaque in the park and that it more than likely got destroyed in the fire.
Mhm.
And Chris actually tried to find it in some of the old stuff that they took apart, couldn't find it.
Oh,
So,
Oh, it's not just a plaque. It was a bench and it was a double bench. And the bench was long enough that it had a
divider,
divider armrest
Okay.
in the middle. So it was an actual bench and the plaque was on the bench. And I haven't been able to find somebody with a picture of it.
okay. So, listening to her, she was just bringing it to our attention. She didn't necessarily ask for another one, but she, wanted to bring it to our attention. I had Chris look into it. Nothing was able to be found. I went down to the park and looked around and we have a bench with nothing on it. So my thought was the simplest thing would be to get a plaque and put it back on that bench.
sounds good to me.
So Chris checked in with the company that we get our stuff from. He couldn't really get a price until we give them a size. So I thought we could have a discussion quickly about a possible size and what we'd like it to say. And then we can decide on that and then get it made and then get it put on the bench and let the family members know that we've been able to get that plaque replaced and it's on the bench and here's where it's at. And yeah,
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Maybe somebody could figure out what the old one said and say the same thing.
well, that's what I was thinking, because do you remember, do you recall?
I don't recall, and I asked, I was hoping that Jan DeBrito had pictures, but
So what about
No
the
pictures.
old one? I mean, they don't have a picture of the old.
that we
plaque?
know, that's it.
The person that
that-
came in to ask about it doesn't have a
No,
picture.
no, there was no picture known of the plaque or the bench. No,
And the person who
So-
known it was it her?
actually, it was a caretaker that was here from the daughter, I think, asked the caretaker to come and speak to us because the daughter lives some other place. So I would suggest, and I'm not motioning yet, I would leave it up to discretion size to Chris and just say, in memory of Pauline Hinesley for her dedication to the city of Phoenix.
I mean, ultimately, it comes down to what we wanted to say. I mean, that's what it comes down to, size.
Does the bench have slats?
Yeah.
So it would probably be better if it were to fit within one of those slats.
I guess I would have to look. I don't remember.
Okay, so that, to me, that would kind of dictate the size. But no, I was thinking more something similar, but wasn't she dedicated to that
Yeah,
park?
the playground, because she was one of the big advocates for the
She
original
was,
playground.
So
but she
maybe-
also did city. I mean, she
I
was
was
an
also
instigator for the
With
for the
her, we
parades.
picked out the playground.
and,
I was on the committee with that. Paul and I went, picked out the playground.
So she did a lot there, but she did a lot.
So maybe how about both? Maybe the city and Culver Park
Blue Heron.
Blue Heron.
or Blue Heron, sorry. So what did you have written on there
I just had in memory of Pauline Hinesley.
for her
For her
dedication
dedication to
to the city of Phoenix and Culver Park? How about that?
That's all
Blue Heron.
on one side, Paula Heinze Memorial Bench. You know, I mean, you get a lot of words, then they're really small.
Well,
thank you, Pauline Hinesley.
I mean, we could come up with anything and they'll send us a proof. I mean,
they'll send you a
before-
proof? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
before.
and
I leave it to your.
I don't
would motion
think we
to leave it to
need,
your
I mean,
discretion.
we're running over here talking about this thing. It seems like that could be relegated to somebody to do and come up and we can either approve it or they can have it move on with it by themselves and it can get done. We don't need to.
Well, I'd like to have just a general idea. So you just wanted, what was your suggestion?
I said Paula Heinze Memorial Bench,
Okay,
or in memory of her, in memory of Paula Heinze. That's three.
that'll work. So does that work for you?
Yeah,
Okay,
works for me.
so in memory of Pauline
Pauline.
Hinesley.
Everybody knew her as Polly, but Pauline Hinesley was her name.
Okay, so Chris, do you want to write that down and then see what we can get for a size and have them do a proof? Okay. Thank you, Chris. So next item was dog days, and we're just have this on here because Nancy says we need to set a date. And I
Well-
thought we had, for some reason, I really thought we had, but I don't think we have.
I don't think we have, and the reason I wanted to
recall
set, a date,
Okay,
because you're asking people to come, you're asking organizations to come, and if you don't get on the agenda for them,
yeah.
they're not there.
So I couldn't find it at home. Do
Even
you,
before it gets really hot.
Yeah, that's what I've heard is that, I mean,
it's in,
how many people attend to that?
Oh,
it's a good 40 to 50
50
people.
people and their dogs. And the people who are there, we've asked them if there are people who are coming that don't like it because of the time. We haven't heard. The people who are there, it's shaded, there's pools, they like it. The people who have dogs,
We've never had an issue with people complaining.
yeah,
about-
never heard anything about. And the part of the reason this dog days is because that's actually the first one was actually designated dog days of summer. And there's an actual dog days recognized in the calendar, and
What months?
July.
Trying to find,
And one reason we do the hot dogs, because it was now also National Hot Dog. We tried to combine that too. Not that it couldn't be changed, but
Not that they're made of dogs.
okay, so it was July 13th
Like,
last year.
is that a Saturday?
it's a
It's a
Saturday.
Saturday. So I don't have my.
The
calendar.
fair is the 15th through the 20th.
Yes, what we try to do is avoid things like that. So we do look at a calendar. We don't look locally, but we look like, okay, what's going to affect it? And yes, the fair was one of the things that we were, so that'll be fine. It'll be before
Yeah.
the fair.
And the 4th of July weekend is the weekend before.
Right, we skipped that.
Yeah. And I'm just not sure that, I think the 12th might be so early that I'm not available. I'll have to see.
Okay,
Well, these things are set on what kind of schedule. That's something that I, as a new member, I'm trying to determine. Like dog days is set up when? I mean, that it's determined that we're gonna have a dog days, or is there a dog days every year? Or if you want to add an event, when can that be added to the schedule? I mean, I'm I'm not familiar with that, and that's
So-
particularly why I wanted to talk
So
about dog
there's
days.
there's certain events that we do every year. We do the Easter egg hunt on the Saturday before Easter. This is just my
By
year and a half of
tradition.
being here of tradition.
Yeah,
We do the dog days in July, which I've been going to that for 4 or 5 years now, just as a
Mhm.
resident of Phoenix. And then there's the bull planting, which usually happens late fall. Those are the three major things. We tried to add events. We haven't been able to make them work.
The trunk or treat.
Yeah.
Oh,
That one was
trunk or
good.
treat.
Yeah, and then we added the trunk or treat, which was a huge success.
Yeah.
I've gotten so much feedback. That's happening this year. That was a great event.
Yeah.
We talked about doing movies in the park. Cost it's not cost effective for the equipment and the licensing to get the movies. There's been bounce around of different ideas. And if you guys in the future, I don't want to do it tonight, but in the future, if you think you want to add an event, bring it to the committee. There's nothing
well,
wrong with that.
that's kind of what I wanted to clear up, is there a schedule where those events are set for the year? Or if you want to add something, at what point do you do that? Or,
If you want to add
I don't
something-
want to add anything right now. I just
It
may in the
also goes
future
with
want-
budgeting. So
Pardon me?
the budget goes through June 30th. It's a fiscal year, so it starts July 1st to June 30th,
Yeah,
follows the city budget. And so then it's budgeted out. And a lot of times the dates are other than the day before Easter, the dates are determined as to when we've been available, which is why bulb planting was so late, because that's when we were available.
yeah.
And you do the ball planning, or,
Yeah, that's an event that we sponsor.
oh, and the public comes and helps or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try. Last year we had, I think, 3 people, or this last session.
Was it snowing?
What's that?
Was it snowing?
No, it was actually a great day.
It
It was a
excellent.
great.
But people couldn't make it. Rosa was occupied. But I
I
think
was-
Alyssa made it. You
Yeah.
made it. You were occupied or you made it?
I made it to the very, very beginning, but then
You had to leave.
I had
Yeah.
to leave.
So we
Yeah,
just,
okay.
events are done by what we're available to do, but traditionally, Dog Days is in July, Easter egg hunt is the Saturday before, bull planting is in late fall. So is everybody okay with July 12th? For the
Or,
Dog Days.
and that's a what day?
It's a Saturday, July 12th.
And National Hot Dog Day is Wednesday, July 16th.
Yeah, so it's right there.
It's right there.
Okay, so
And I just have to say, I'm not real positive that's so close to the first of the month. After that weekend, I know I'm available.
well, we'll put it down to the 12th, and if you're not there.
Right.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that the Dog Days happens on July 12th of this year.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. No opposed, motion passed.
I just recognized we didn't do a motion did we do a motion for the Polly Hinesley? Because I don't remember we voted on like the phrase or the size.
Well, I think we're gonna let's have
Chris is gonna-
let's have Chris
Chris.
get a
Approved.
And like a quote.
thank you, my
Okay.
mind just went.
Yeah.
Get a proof
Okay.
of what the plaque is and the size and the price, and we can put that on next agendas to get it approved.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm trying to get us out here. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
member
ready to go.
comments. No comment?
We've got 1 minute left in our audit.
No, actually, it's 30 minutes. We did it wrong last time,
We didn't have our,
but we're trying to keep it short. So do you have any member comments tonight?
No.
Okay, Nancy,
the bulbs are coming up and they're going to be excellent,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
I agree. I saw the ones outside of Otto Casper.
Yeah.
They look really nice. Okay, I'm just looking forward to a non-rainy day for the Easter egg hunt. Okay, so we're gonna adjourn a meeting. Next one is April 17th. Thank you all for showing up.
Can I get a copy of that?
You can have that one.
Okay.